Hey everyone, this is DWS Darius and welcome to another day in the fish room. So my last video, I showed you guys some aquarium fish that only cost me $1. And today is going to be somewhat of an opposite video. I want to go around to all my aquariums and show you some of the most expensive fish that I own. Now when it comes to me, I think my budget is different from a lot of people. One, because I have this fish room, so I don't want to put too much money into buying fish because that could easily just drain my wallet with all these aquariums. And two, because I buy a lot of my fish as juveniles, so you know that definitely keeps the price a lot lower. So I'm going to go around to these tanks showing you just some of the higher prices that I paid for my aquarium fish. Now buying fish is something we all can relate to, so in the comment section let me know what's the most expensive fish you ever bought, whether it's a single fish or a pair of fish, and also what's your limit, how much are you willing to pay for an aquarium fish. And finally, this is not in any specific order. I'm just going from tank to tank trying to remember the prices of these fish. So enjoy. Okay, so first up we have in my African cichlid tank this species 44 African cichlid, also known as a tomato hap, a neri-eye cichlid. I bought this fish for $35 from Imperial Tropicals. Normally when it comes to my African cichlids, I buy them as juveniles for under $10. I kept trying to get this fish, but I kept ended up with females or with just similar looking species, but I was never able to get the actual fish. So I went to Imperial Tropicals and I ordered a guaranteed male, and he costed $35, and he's definitely an awesome fish. And I think he's worth the $35. Definitely very beautiful, and I love that red. The next fish is a Labiotropheus Mabona cichlid. I bought this fish a couple of years ago from a local fish store and I paid $30 for him. He's an adult. I bought him as an adult, same size. And the main reason why I bought him was because in this African cichlid tank, I want the rainbow effect. Every color I could get, and when I was at the local fish store, that white color was just so bright, especially since the fish that were in his aquarium at the local fish store were so dull. So he stuck out a lot, so I went and bought him. Once again, $30. I gotta say I might be regretting getting this fish. One, because now I'm into haps and peacocks and he is a bit more aggressive, and two, I know I could have definitely got another albino fish for a lower price. But yeah, that's the second most expensive fish in this aquarium. Next I have a 6-bar frontosa cichlid. I have two of these. I bought them a couple of years ago. $20 for a 1-inch fish. I think that was pretty expensive for the size, especially since I was used to buying fish that size for just $5 and $6. I don't think this was a regret because these fish are awesome. They are very slow growing, but I'm pleased because they're not very aggressive and they look awesome. I have this one right here in front of you, and then the other one stays back there behind that rock. They are kind of aggressive towards each other, but nothing too serious, nothing to worry about. But yeah, those are the third most expensive fish in this aquarium. After that, for the rest of my fish in this tank, I paid under $15 for them each, which I think is pretty fair when you consider African cichlids and how popular they are. That price also includes these clown loaches. I bought them for under $10, and you know my biggest is about 10 inches, and that 10-inch clown loach is easily over $60 in value, so that's definitely awesome. But yeah, that's a look at the African cichlid tank and the most expensive fish in that tank. Of course, not as expensive as some of you other guys might pay, but for me and for my fish room, they are a record. Next we have my 125-gallon planted aquarium, and surprisingly I didn't pay a lot of money for the fish in this aquarium. Now I did buy schools, so that brought up the price a lot, but as far as the individual fish, not a lot of high prices. So as far as the highest in this tank, I have this Goyder River rainbow fish, costing me about, I think it was like $17 when he was 1 inch long. I don't regret that because he's absolutely a very beautiful fish. And the same thing with this Western rainbow in front of you guys. Bought him again for about $17 the same time I bought my Goyder River. And definitely not a regret. Very beautiful fish, very active and enjoyable. All the other fish in this aquarium costing me under $10. I got these Bosmani rainbow fish on a deal, $8 each. This electric blue Acara, who would think that such a beautiful fish would be so cheap? I only paid about $4 for him. These roseline sharks, I got them on sale at PetSmart for I think $6. So yeah, not a lot of prices as far as individual fish, but you know, all together being that I buy these schools, my Bosmani costed me about $56. My Harlequin Raspora costed me about $30. So when you add up the school numbers, then the price goes up, but for individual fish, not a lot of money. Next, I want to show you guys my 40-gallon reef aquarium. Now I know a lot of my subscribers are not into reef aquariums, but they are pretty awesome. So when it comes to reef tanks and saltwater tanks in general, the price of fish just vary a lot. I mean, you can have some fish for $1, you can have some fish, a lot of fish for hundreds of dollars. So let me show you some of the fish that I have. I have my pajama cardinals, cost about $4 each. That common Ocellar's clownfish costed me about, I think it was $15. Then I have somewhere here a red stoplight cardinal, costing me about $7. And the most expensive fish in this aquarium, and I can't find him right now. Where is he? Oh, like right there, doing one of the things that I love most about him. You see he's hosting my yellow polyps, but that is my snowflake clownfish. Not a snowflake, I think it's a platinum clownfish. It's all just hybrid versions of the clownfish to bring out more white, but platinum clownfish. The regular one costed me $15 and this one costed me $45. So that definitely is a big jump. The most expensive saltwater fish that I ever purchased, but I don't regret it. He's definitely very beautiful. Look at that. I always wanted a clownfish that will host like one of my corals. So it's awesome to have this guy hosting these yellow polyps. He's very interactive with me. His face does look a little bit mutated, like he has like his lower lip extends farther than his face, but he's a very enjoyable fish. So next we're back to freshwater tanks, and we have my 55-gallon grow out tank. I showed you guys my Buenos Aires Tetra in my last video. They only cost me $1. I have this little guy, which is said to be a red spot severum. He looks a lot like a yellow severum. Hopefully that's just yellow coloration, juvenile coloration. But yeah, he costed $7. Same thing with this pear side costed $8. To the right, I have a juvenile giant gourami. My second time trying to keep these fish. My last one got really big, but he also got really aggressive. I'm trying it again because the fish that I have in the 210 are a lot more aggressive. Look at that guy. But yeah, he costed about $20. And the most expensive fish in his tank, and kind of a regret, is this little guy right here. My Indonesian datnoid. I bought him from Live Aquaria. He was on sale. The original price was $50. Bought him for $30, and I'm regretting him because 1, he grows very slow, and 2, he is extremely picky. He's a lot more active than before because he's with these other fish, but he only eats worms, nothing else. No flakes, no pellets, no frozen foods. He don't eat anything, and that's part of the reason why I think he grows so slow. But yeah, he would be a very cool fish because when they get older, they kind of look like freshwater groupers. But it seems like this fish is never going to get older because he's always demanding live foods. He wants worms, and just worms are not always easy to find, especially since the season is getting colder. So yeah, this little guy cost me $30. I bought him when he was 1 inch, and now he's about 1.5 inches. And we're a couple of months down the road, so he's growing very slow, and once again, he kind of is a regret. Next, we have the 29-gallon Hillstream aquarium. Definitely not a lot of high prices in this tank. I showed you guys my minnows last week that I paid $1 each for. I also have 4 original Hillstream loaches that I bought from the store, about $12 each. They went and gave me a nice spawn, so I have a lot of little babies everywhere. You can see one right there on the rock grazing. And those are the only 2 fish in the tank at the moment. I do have more fish coming, more Asian fish, but I'll reveal those in my next fish room update. Next, we have my 75-gallon grow out / potential tank. In this tank I have my green terra pair with their son. Trying to get those guys back in order. They used to be very beautiful, and they took a hard crash. The female, she started beating up the male. The male got depressed and he stopped eating, so he lost a lot of weight. He also just lost his dominance, so he lost a lot of color. So this is the male compared to how he used to look before. He still doesn't look terrible, but not as good as he used to look. And back there is their son, who looks terrible. So in this tank, I'm just trying to get them back in order. These fish all costed me under $10. The male I bought from Imperial Tropicals for, I think it was $8. Female came from a local fish store for $5, and the son was born in the tank. And then I had this guy over here, which was an impulse buy. This is a freshwater barracuda, also known as the rocket gar. This fish cost me $30, and it's a very cool fish, but I am questioning whether or not I am able to keep it. It's kind of like the datnoid cichlid, which only, not cichlid, the datnoid fish in that tank, which only wants live foods, which is very challenging because this guy's so small. It's hard trying to provide fish small enough for him to eat. That's all he wants is live fish. So that's pretty difficult, but he's a very cool looking fish, very interesting. The times I did feed him fish, he is just an amazing hunter. But I'll see what happens. But yeah, this fish costed me $30. And the last tank in this fish room is my 55-gallon low-tech planting tank. And definitely not a lot of high-priced fish in this aquarium. In fact, everything costs under $10. I have the platies, you know, those cost $1. I have the Self and Molly cost about $6. Who else? The Bristol's Pleco, under like $5 or something. Same thing with that little pistogramma. I have my dwarf puffer somewhere in here. It costed me about $5 or $3. I forgot the price, but they're somewhere in here. Rams costed me about $6 each. And then I have back there some mosquito fish. I actually caught those from a lake in New Jersey. I was shocked, but then I did some research and found that they've added these fish to kill the mosquito population. I was going to do a video, I just haven't had time to go back up there, but those are mosquito fish that I wild caught. And yeah, that's all the fish in this tank. There's a look at the puffer. And yeah, not a lot of expensive fish in this tank. And you know, all these playful, cheerful fish, they're quite a temptation to this little guy right here. He wants nothing but live fish, so you should see him when he's staring at this tank. But yeah, that's all the fish in the fish room. Now I'll show you some of my other fish. Okay everyone, and now you're looking at my 210-gallon aquarium. This is the largest of all my tanks. It's not in the fish room, it's like in my office area, so I don't really count it as a part of the fish room. But let me show you some of the prices of the fish in this tank. So the two most expensive fish I bought this year were my peacock bass. I bought them at $80 together. They were sold to me as cichlid Kelbera, and come to find out a couple of months later, they're definitely not Kelbera. They're either cichlid Timinis or cichlid Azul or some hybrid. I'll find out a little later as they get a little bit more older. But yeah, these two costed $80, and then they ended up being the wrong species. Now if they are Azul, they will be worth a lot more because Azuls cost more than Kelbera, but time will tell. I have the Salvanite, which you saw back there. I have two of those. Cheap fish, $6. These two red devils, they were born in my pond, so free. This big old buttercoferi, you would think that such a big fish would cost a lot, but I bought it when it was just like very tiny, 1 inch. Now it's about 10 inches, and I bought it for like $4, so definitely not a big price when it comes to her. I have my Vija black belt cichlid, which was about, I think it was $20. Spotted silver dollars I showed you in my last video, just $1 for those from PetSmart. I have these striped silver dollars. I paid $30, but the reason why I don't increase their school is because usually these fish cost $30 each. Did I say that again? I paid $15 from a store that was closing, and usually these fish cost $30 each. So they're definitely an expensive fish. That's the main reason why I haven't increased their school. But yeah, and last fish in this tank, behind that rack you can see the tail of my 4-line Pictus catfish, and I paid $12 for him. So really not too much of a huge price when it comes to the fish that I've bought, but I love the diversity of them. Okay everyone, and I'm just going to finish off this video with a look at the koi pond. Now we all know koi could be just some of the most expensive fish available. There's actually a video online of a koi that costs, I think it was $600,000. And that's just crazy. But yeah, when it comes to koi, the most I ever spent was $20. I bought them all as juveniles. And thinking about koi, they grow so fast that I don't really see much value in spending so much on them, because you could get like this guy right here. I bought right there on a log. I bought that guy a couple of years ago from I think it was PetSmart, for like $6. And now he's the biggest koi in this pond, almost 3 feet long, and he's just as awesome as those $100,000 or $100 or $1,000 koi. But yeah, this is the backyard pond. It's been raining all day, so the water is a little bit murky from all the runoff. But the koi like the rain because the rain brings the overall water level of the pond higher, and they can suck the rocks. I'm not sure what they're sucking exactly, probably minerals or something like that. But yeah, this is the pond, and that's been a look at some of the prices of the fish that I own. Now, of course, once again, some of you may have spent a lot more than what I spent, and I'm curious to know how much you're willing to spend. So let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Thank everybody who's been subscribing to my channel. and stay tuned for more. See you guys later.